There we go. Wow, look at that. What is going on, everybody? I'm here with Stephanie, and it's time to test some Cybertruck FSD against a bunch of stuff. Now, we've done this test a few times on different versions of FSD. We're on version 12 right now, but Cybertruck seems to break a little late a lot of the time, so this is going to be kind of an interesting one. And I'm also not as concerned with Cybertruck hitting some of these things, like probably not this bike, but some of this stuff Cybertruck's probably going to plow right into, unless it has the smarts and is good enough and can stop for this stuff. So we'll do some tests where the object's just laying in the road. We'll do some tests where the object is moving across the road. We'll do our best, and we'll test this out. So let's see how it does. First test is really low stakes, but actually pretty difficult. We're going for Jowa Sunshade. So this is just the bag for the sunshade, and we're going to see if FSD is going to hit that. We do have the front camera covered. I just want to show that that's not part of FSD, but we'll see if Cybertruck interacts with this. And if you want any products from Jowa, just use code Dirty Tesla to save 5%, and then you can run over your own sunshade bag. Second test here, and to do this, we enable FSD. I press the pedal to get us up to about 25-30 miles an hour, and then I will let off. Unfortunately, I have to keep picking up this camera to let FSD do its thing. So I have now let off. FSD is in control. We have a small box on this one, and does not care at all. Drives right over it. Wow, interesting. All right, so first little box was a fail. We're gonna make it a little easier for the truck now with a bigger box, but then we will make it a little smaller again and see how it does with different sizes. I'm actually quite surprised, and that's where you would hope the front camera would be being used to detect that stuff. But as we saw with the initial test with the leaf covering it, the front camera is not really part of this equation. So FSD is on. I'm gonna press the accelerator, get us up to 25-ish. Bring my camera back up, and I've let off the accelerator at this point. And FSD sees that. You can see the little graphic there. Wow, and it's going around it. Oh, it clipped it. What is this thing thinking?
Oh.
All right, so the truck like clipped the box? Yes. Okay, wow, that's insane. This is like more proof that the FSD on the Cybertruck basically thinks the Cybertruck is smaller than it is, which I've really thought. But it did attempt to go around it, but it still clipped it. So it thinks it's this big, and really it's this big. All right, we're gonna do this box one more time, but it's gonna be more difficult because it's now laying flat across the road. So it's not as tall, and it takes up more of the road. So Cybertruck really on this one should just stop. I don't know what it's gonna do though. I really cannot believe that last result that we just saw. So accelerator, and I've let off. The truck is now in full control. It's still accelerating, a little bit of braking, and no, just right over it like nothing. All right, next up we're doing a rolling ball test. And so this is a little small beach ball that we're gonna try. Stephanie's just gonna throw it out kind of, not last second so that, you know, the truck physically can stop, but a little late. We'll see what she does. So I let off the accelerator, the truck is still accelerating. It's rolling out there, and nope, doesn't care at all about that either. So the small ball was a total fail. Maybe it was a little too small, but again, it's bright colors. It's rolling out into the road. I feel like it should be pretty easy to see. So we're gonna try now with a slightly larger ball. Again, I'm pressing the accelerator and then letting off, and the truck is taking control. So I'll be clear about when I'm doing that. So accelerator is pressed right now. We're getting up to speed here, and now I've let off the accelerator. The truck is continuing to accelerate even though I've let off. And here comes the ball right there. Oh boy. No braking at all. Zero braking at all. What is happening? This is crazy. Is the ball?
Wait. The ball is following.
There it is. It's still with me. Wow, this is craziness. This is definitely not the results I expected, especially last time when pretty much everything was avoided. We did get some hits on the little tiny like dog toys and stuff, but this was at least, it did get hit last time, but the Model Y we used for the test last time at least attempted to brake or move around it or something. It just still made contact at the last minute because it had been avoiding this object, and we threw it at the very last second to really like make contact, kind of make it impossible to avoid. But here, there's plenty of time to respond, and I didn't feel any braking. The steering didn't move at all whatsoever. So we put the ball back in the road, just sitting in the road. So the Cybertruck has some time to respond to it. So let's enable this, and I'm gonna accelerate, and I've now let off the accelerator. I am not accelerating at all. The truck is doing that. It's displaying the object there, and it's moving over, but not quite enough. I just don't want to send it flying and make Stephanie go retrieve it. So next up, we were gonna do this little dog toy to simulate like a squirrel or a rabbit or something, but the Model Y failed that. Cybertruck ain't even avoiding like gigantic boxes, so we know that's gonna fail. So next up, we're gonna do this bucket. But before that, just like we deleted that little dog toy from this test, you should delete your personal information from the internet by using our sponsor, Delete Me. I'm about to let a full self-driving Cybertruck drive directly towards me to test if it's gonna stop. But before that, I gotta tell you about Delete Me and how data brokers are collecting your personal information online. These sneaky entities collect your personal information such as address, phone number, last name, email address, social security number, and so much more. In fact, Delete Me research shows the volume of personal data on individuals available online has tripled between 2019 and 2023. There's an average of over 525 pieces of personal information per person available for free or as little as $5 per profile online. And this is because of these data brokers. But if you use my link below to save 20% and sign up for Delete Me, they will do the hard work for you, deleting your information from these data brokers. Once requested, data brokers are obligated to remove your personal information, but the problem is there are so many different data brokers, so many different websites, and they are very hard to track down. At this point, I've been using Delete Me for over a year, and my personal information has disappeared from the internet. In fact, it seemed like I got way less political text messages and phone calls than my friends who aren't using Delete Me. So just take a couple of minutes, get your personal information off the internet by using my link below, joindeleteme.com/dirtytesla, and save 20%. Thank you to Delete Me for sponsoring this video. All right, well, I can say these are definitely not the results I expected, but this is the results we're getting, so we're gonna keep going. So next up, we're doing this bucket. It's at least white. It's a contrast to the dirt road, so it should be extremely easy to see. It's a decent size, like nobody would, unless they're texting and driving, nobody would hit this on accident. So I don't wanna hit this at full speed because it'll probably go under the truck, but we'll see what happens. I'll at least hit the brake and maybe give it a little tap. So I'm gonna press the accelerator here. Here we go. I'm gonna get it up to about 20-ish. And I have now let off. I am no longer pressing the accelerator. The truck is deciding to go about 25. Clearly sees the bucket. It visualizes it. We got a little braking, but yeah, bucket is still destroyed. That was totally me, of course, slamming on the brake there. I did let off for a little dramatic effect, but what's going on here, FSD? You don't care about these objects? This is the craziest thing I've ever seen. None of the other tests had results anywhere close to this. We should pull out the Model Y for one go at one of these just to kind of show the difference. We got a couple objects left. A little nervous for these ones. I ain't gonna let the truck hit them because they're a little too big, but we got a little bike, a little kid's bike, and then we're gonna have the child mannequin up. So let's see how it does. The first bike test is just gonna be sitting there. It's not gonna be moving. The next one, we'll have Stephanie push it across the road, so it's kind of coming out from the side of the road there. And we'll go. So here we go. Accelerator pressed. We don't even have to go that fast. This thing doesn't want to stop for anything. So 20, I've let off. I am no longer pressing the accelerator. I'm ready to hit the brake though. So this is visualized. We are slowing down. There we go. Wow, look at that. Emergency braking. It actually showed a human there for a minute, and we stopped for the bike. So good. Holy crap. I'm glad it stopped for some. Of course, that's the time I forgot to bring the camera up. But we're clearly very far away. Can you actually take a picture while you're out there of how far we are from the bike, please? So you're looking at a picture of how far away we are from it. Thankfully, it actually stopped for this. It's no duh, of course it should. But I'm just glad after all those other tests that it seems to recognize this object is a lot more important than the other ones.
Hooray!
Now it's the moving bike test. So let's see. Got full self-driving engaged. I'm gonna get it up, and right here I've now let off. So FSD is accelerating on its own. Stephanie's gonna push that bike out, not too late so I don't crap my pants. Oh man, she's waiting. Oh man, emergency braking enabled. Awesome, good job. Oh no, it's gonna keep going and it stops. Wow, it's still, and it stops. That scared me. You waited a long time. I don't know if it came across on,
Sorry.
I don't know, no, you're good. That's awesome. I don't know if it came across on video. She waited a long time to throw that out there. I was wanting to brake myself before she even pushed it. But here we are. I still have not touched anything. FSD is still enabled and it is not continuing to drive. with that bike in the way. So great result on that one. All right, here's the first mannequin test. This is static, just standing there. The bike result gave me a lot more confidence. I think we'll be good here, but we'll see. I unfortunately cannot allow the truck to hit this one either. It's got a huge metal plate on the bottom, so it's just not really safe. But I'm going to try to set that up differently for next time. All right, so I'm accelerating here, and I've let off. FSD is in full control. It's deciding to continue accelerating. It is showing that on the screen. Oh, okay, nope. That was definitely not going to stop for that. That is craziness. All right, so here's the crazy thing about that last run. It was not going to stop. I took over and I moved because I can't hit this thing. But if you look at the display here, I'll try to take a picture for you, but it shows something in the road. Like you can see that something is there and it's just pretty much ignoring it. I don't know why. I don't know why it's not showing a person figure because again, on the Model Y wouldn't go anywhere near this thing. And Cybertruck is just like, doesn't care. So really strange to see this result. Let's try it one more time static and then maybe moving. Let's do this again. Stephanie wanted to put the arms up just to see if that made a difference. It's a good thought. Maybe it'll look a little more human-like. Because that's the main argument people are going to make is, oh, it's not a person. Of course, I'm not pressing the accelerator right now. It's not a person. It's not real, blah, blah, blah. Wow. Yep, that's crazy. So it just doesn't care. The fact is, yeah, it's not a person. It's a mannequin. I ain't going to put my wife in the road to test it. Maybe I should go stand in the road and let her do it. But actually, we're going to do that for sure. But the fact is, there's something in the road. Even if this is not technically a person, there's something in the road. It's displayed on the display. It shows the truck sees something there, and it's just like doesn't care. Now, on this run, it did slightly move over, but it still wasn't enough. Like it needs to not be hitting these objects. So here, why don't you hop in, and I'll stand in the road. So Cybertruck's coming at me right now, and that looks terrifying. It looks like it's flying. And of course, Stephanie's going to take over super early if she needs to, but there's plenty of space here, and Cybertruck does drive right by. So if I was... There's plenty of space here. No, that's still crazy. If I was a real pedestrian and that wasn't my Cybertruck, I'd be like, what the hell's wrong with this person? It drove within... I don't know, maybe a foot of me, maybe 8 inches of me. And yeah, so that's pretty crazy. That is like way too fast to be driving by a pedestrian. But what's interesting is that is the same behavior we saw when the Model Y was doing this test as well. It went around the mannequin every time, but it got pretty close to it. How did that feel from your end?
I could tell from the beginning, like it was moving way over. So it was going to avoid you. And I was focusing so much on you, I didn't look at the screen much, but I think it slowed down a little bit as well.
All right, so here comes the Cybertruck again. I'm in the middle of the road. The thing will have to stop or go off the road for me. So, of course, Stephanie, again, is going to hit the brake really early. This is terrifying already. This thing's flying at me. Just from my perspective as a pedestrian, this thing is coming way too fast. Way too fast. Way too... Okay, now is appropriate. Finally. It stopped, okay? The thing stopped, obviously, with plenty of space. I mean, there's like 10 feet from me to the truck. But if I saw any other vehicle on Earth coming at me at that speed, I would be like, what the hell's wrong with this person? They're about to run me over. So that's kind of the verdict on that from the first-person perspective of a self-driving Cybertruck coming at you. Yep, it stops, and we've seen it in other scenarios where it actually will stop. It's safe in that regard. But to the person outside of the truck, I can see why in videos I've made, people like stare at me like, oh, is this guy going to stop? Because it does kind of quickly come at you. So earlier, harder braking needed from FSD for human interactions and object interactions as well. All right, I brought up the Model Y really quick just to show you the difference. The software on them are similar. The Model Y software is slightly newer, but last time we did these series of tests was months ago on way older software. So I've let off the accelerator. Model Y is fully in control. There's no front bumper camera for us to look at. But let's see, it's going for the bucket, it sees the bucket, and look, it drives around the, wow, just barely. This sucks. Whoa, did it hit it? Holy crap, hold on.